Namaste everyone, and welcome back home to the Trannabis Kitchen for the Trannabis Kitchen Pre-Show. This is the pre-show for Season 2, Episode 6, which is going to be with Chef Katie O'Donnell. I am super excited to have this really epic episode, and it's all about the shrimp and pasta, and I am going to be doing a totally different variation. I decided that I wanted to deconstruct and reconstruct some shrimp and pasta, and so this is going to be pescatarian, of course, gluten-free and dairy-free, and I'm in the process of prepping because there's a lot to do. So what we are going to do is make these in the air fryer. We are going to take about a pound of shrimp that was supposed to be deveined, so I was supposed to be further ahead by now, but it came about half deveined, so I am deveining, and I will show you how to devein in the process. Then mincing it up to be small. Then we've got a baby bok choy that we are going to basically mince up as well. We've got 3 eggs. We've got some ground ginger and ground turmeric. We've got rainbow carrots, baby rainbow carrots. We've got, of course, our fruit slabs. Thank you so much, Fruit Slabs, for sponsoring. Deeply appreciate it. For those who do not know, Fruit Slabs are a organic, kosher certified, no preservatives added fruit leather that is fruit and cannabis, and it is the healthiest edible in my opinion that is on the market. And this one is a mango and coconut base. Coconut can go really well with shrimp, so can mangoes. We've got about a sheet of dried seaweed here. We have, I've never used this before, it is like this pre-made sort of gluten-free angel hair pasta. I was hoping to get vermicelli, but I couldn't get them. We've got some ground black pepper here as well. And then in here, we are starting our outside of what our balls are going to be, which is hemp seeds as well as sesame seeds. Thanks for being here, Bongo Dave. Yes, I know, I missed the pre-show as well. All right, so I've done most of this here. Now, this is fresh and then frozen shrimp. And so the way that you devein, we have to devein shrimp because shrimp have a digestive tract, of course, and that tract remains in 2 places on the shrimp after you've actually taken off the tail. And this is just not something that we want to taste, right? So it comes from the underside, see that sort of blue silver line, and then usually it would be up top. They did clean up top, but they did not clean the underbelly. And the way to clean it is very, very simple. Take a sharp knife, be very careful in doing this. Take within pincers and get your 3rd finger here to support you so that you really have a good hold on your piece of shrimp. And then we are going to take the knife from the very top, right in the center where the line is, and slice right down. It's very gentle when you do it with a seafood knife, and then it just pulls right out. And so I'm in the process of mincing these. Everything here needs to be basically as small as possible in order to make these balls. And we're starting with our seafood because we don't want to cross-contaminate. So I have a totally different cutting board that I'm going to be using for the vegetables. And in the meantime, I am prepping, and then after I'm done prepping the shrimp, I'm going to grab the other tools I need, after which I will have already cleaned and sanitized around me. There's a reason why I'm doing this very central. All the spices and everything else, because this is all raw, even though it's going to be going all together, I'm keeping them separate enough. And before I started this process, I just rinsed with some cold water. Look who it is! Monique's in the kitchen! I miss you, Monique. I've been thinking about you. Thanks for joining. We're doing shrimp balls, and I was just showing the process and explaining the process of deveining shrimp, because I purchased this deveined, but they only deveined half of them from the top half. And I was like, well, this is not useful. I need the entire shrimp deveined, because no one wants some shrimp poop in their shrimp balls. And I'm going to be infusing these with some mango Maui Wowie fruit slabs. Yes! We need to, I really want the pandemic to be over so that it's just like really easy to come and get to you. I'm like still, I don't know if, I think both of you knew that I got COVID. And so in the process I got a bunch of flares, and so I haven't really actually gone anywhere. Yes, I am getting my booster shot tomorrow. I'm a little bit nervous. But I'm going with Pfizer this time, since the Moderna really just knocked me out for so long. I just can't afford to have that issue. Have you had shrimp balls before, Monique and Rick? I haven't actually made my own shrimp balls, and it actually makes me think of shrimp shumai, which is like one of my favorite things, but often now that's not necessarily gluten-free. Thank you. I'm definitely getting there. It's been a lot of doctor's visits, unfortunately, but you know, this is why I personally believe in vaccination, because even with vaccination, I had a really tough go at it. But I'm grateful to be alive and back in the kitchen for a couple weeks now. And my guest, who's coming on later, my friend Chef Katie O'Donnell, is an incredible chef from New York who actually, when I was little and I was infatuated with Iron Chef, I actually witnessed her participating under Chef Pasternak and competing. And so long before I knew Katie, who's a new contact in my life, I watched her on TV. Ooh, shrimp cakes. That sounds really good. Yeah, I'm gonna air fry them. I imagine those are legitimately deep fried. Oh, and also, you know what it reminds me of? Hush puppies. I have to make gluten-free air-fried hush puppies, which I know is kind of like sacrilegious because like one should really fry them. Otherwise, like, are they really a hush puppy? But if I could make gluten-free hush puppies in the air fryer, I would be stoked. I just cut through my gloves. I always recommend. Oh, even better. You know what? On the next episode that we do together, I think that would be so great to do that together. What do you say? The shrimp cakes and hush puppies. Thank you. Enjoy dinner. And the replay, of course, will be up later for anybody who wishes to enjoy it. It's going to be fun. Chef Katie is making a shrimp pasta dish. I'm guessing shrimp scampi, but I actually don't know. I have not asked her. I've allowed that to be somewhat of a surprise because we agreed that we were going to do something a little different. We sort of like picked the theme. Both myself and Chef Katie have a major love for seafood. I think that this is maybe the first time that I'm actually doing a dish infused with shrimp, so that's cool. Of course, I've done other fishes, but I don't actually think that I've done any sort of a shellfish. Oh no, that's not true. That's not true. I made the crab cakes with fruit slabs, actually, at Fruit Slabs headquarters. And what's good about this is while I'm doing this, this is getting much more at room temperature, which is going to make our lives much easier. They weren't frozen when they got to me because they were initially frozen and then they were handed to me defrosted. So I've just left them in the fridge. The sold by date was today, so hopefully I'll be able to do these. And this could be, you know, a really great substitute for those who don't eat meat but eat fish, like myself, to do, you know, these. Like, my inspiration was more of like a meatball, because, I don't know, I just felt like, you know, gluten-free pastas already usually not my favorite thing, and like putting it in this context is something that like I haven't done, and I was like, you know what, this has a better, I think this has a better turnaround. You know, I think this is going to be a better turnout, and this is something that one could definitely freeze if we weren't in a pandemic, and you know, things were differently. I would have preferably gotten these fresh at the market, but I've kind of been avoiding super popular places. Okay, finally, mission accomplished. Alright, so now it's time to sterilize. An incredibly important part of this, to make sure that we are not doing any sorts of cross-contamination. I like to use Lysol wipes in the midst of everything's. Namaste, my friend. Welcome. How are things in Chile? Welcome to the Trannabis Kitchen Pre-Show. We've just finished deveining and mincing our shrimp. I will happily go over the recipe again as to what we're doing as we move forward in this recipe. We are making shrimp balls that are going to be infused with fruit slabs. These are fruit slabs. We're using a mango Maui Wowie, which has coconut and a mango base. And this will go really, really great with our shrimp. And so we're actually going to wait to do the eggs. Oh, wait, I want to get... Here's my little trick, by the way, for those who don't know. This is my little trick for how do you have a non-slip situation with your cutting board. So I take a paper towel. If you have a thin enough, you know, towel, you could definitely do this with just like a thinner towel. I don't really have one of those, so I get it nice and wet, wring it out, and then I lay it flat. And then this is going to stop this cutting board from slipping. Just like that. I love food. Thai food. Yes, I would say we're doing sort of an Italian-Asian fusion, probably, is what ultimately is happening. I've already minced and deveined it. Okay, so next thing that we want to do is some shredding. We're going to have to reorganize this whole area. Is totally chaotic under here. This is terrible. Okay. That's our bowl. Because we're going to need a large bowl to mix everything. Okay. So, we are... Does it look like there's still gunk on here? We are going to start by shredding our carrots, which I have already washed, using rainbow carrots, but you can use any carrot. I'm using a rainbow carrot because it's really colorful and nice. We want this to be small, so we're gonna go with sort of this medium one, and you're gonna wanna really make sure you're careful of your fingers here. I find using gloves is helpful. It gives you a little bit of an extra barrier before you get to your flesh. And you know, once you are down, you're down. Don't stress yourself over it. Peel off. This is the exact type of sort of consistency. It's almost like the inside tiny shreds of a pumpkin. It's exactly what we want. I am not left-handed, so I'm concentrating a little bit extra hard because I'm trying to have it face so that you can see the action. And then we are going to mince with our knife. The baby bok choy is going to be way too soft to do the shredding with in this way. If you have a microplane, that could also work. I may have a microplane, but I didn't think about that ahead of time. I've kind of got one of every color. Just make these nice and pretty. All right. Take this all out. Awesome. Okay. Marvelous. So now we'll come to the baby bok choy. So we have another 2 minutes left, and then we are going to be moving on. You can return exactly where you are watching this right now at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time, and I will be back here to bring Chef Katie into the Trannabis Kitchen, and we will have our full episode. Right now, for those who have just come in, this is where we prep and just chat, talk about things. So, did the leaves separately to make things a little bit easier for myself. And I cut this kind of long ways. Just kind of shred this. We're making these into balls, so it doesn't have to be pretty. You just want it to have it even, so that way it cooks evenly. So I am going to finish this up and see you all a little bit. Thank you so much for joining me for the Trannabis Kitchen Pre-Show Season 2, Episode 6. It's going to be amazing. We'll see you in a little bit. 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much, my friends. Namaste.